Greetings, this is M Squared, and we're going to solve some linear inequalities. And just a reminder, it's a little bit different. There's only one thing different when you solve inequalities rather than equations, and that's when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to switch the inequality sign. Keep in mind that's less than or equal to, less than, greater than or equal to, greater than. A lot of people still have trouble remembering if this is greater than or less than. My little trick is I always do a little number line, and I ask people, where are the bigger numbers? Where are the numbers that are greater than other numbers? They're to the right, pointing that way. So this is the greater than sign. The numbers that are less than other numbers are to the left, and that's the less than sign. I don't know if that helps you. The alligator doesn't work at this level, so because of the x. So remember, when we graph it, because it says solve and graph, so we have to graph them on a number line. When you have the line under the less than or greater than sign, which means or equal to, then that number is included. So the circle is closed in because it shows that it includes that number. If it's an open circle, it does not include that number you've circled, just all the numbers either to the left or the right. So just like when we're solving linear equations, our goal is to get x alone. So to get x alone, I have to divide because x is being multiplied by a -3. So I divide by -3. I just divided by a negative, so I have to switch the inequality sign. Keep that in mind. So instead of writing a less than sign, I'm going to write a greater than sign. -9 divided by -3 is 3. Now I have to graph it. So I don't know, some people might make you do all those numbers. I wouldn't, I didn't really care. Greater than, open circle. If the variable is on the right side, the left side, excuse me, if the variable is on the left side, you follow the arrow. If the variable was on the right side, you do the opposite of where the arrow told you to go. So variable's on the left, it's pointing to the right, so I know that I will point to the right because all the numbers that are greater than 3 are over here to the right. Okay, next one. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 2x is greater than or equal to 8. So now to get x alone, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. I get x is greater than or equal to 4. I make my number line. Here's my 4. It's greater than or equal to, so that's a closed circle. It means that 4 is included in that solution. 4 would work. 4 is greater than or equal to 4. And then I follow the arrow because my variable's on the left. Okay, this one, to get x alone, what do you think you do first? Hopefully you said get rid of the 7. So it's being added, so we subtract. So 5x is less than -15. Now some people get confused and they think if there's a negative on this side that they have to switch the inequality sign. But notice, it's only when you multiply or divide by a negative. We did not multiply or divide, we subtracted. So we do not change it just because this right side is negative. We always have to do either the multiplication or division by a negative in order to switch it. So I need to get x alone. I divide both sides by 5. And notice I divided by a +5, so I don't have to switch it. And that gets me -3. So I get 0 here, -3, and it's an open circle. And it's a less than sign, so I go less than -3. So just a side note to tell you why we switch if we multiply or divide by a negative. Let me show you over here. If you don't want to see it, you can stop now and move on, but sometimes people want to know why. If I say 3 is let's do -3. If I say -3 is less than 5, you would agree with me. You would say, yeah, -3 is less than 5. So that is a true statement. And we have these rules when we solve equations that says anytime you do one thing to one side, you have to do it to the other side to get it equal. So if I added 1 to both sides, let's just say I add 1 to both sides, I get -2 is less than 6. As you can see, that's still true. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what we said here. You either have to multiply or divide by a negative. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide by a -1, both sides. So what's -2 divided by -1? It's a +2. and 6 divided by -1 is a -6. So now look what happened. It switched which one was less than. 2 is no longer less than -6, because when I divide by a negative, the signs switch. That's why this sign also has to switch. So that's the y, and you can't always see that when you're dealing with x's. So sometimes it's nice to do the y with numbers so you can see what's actually changing. It actually changes the signs, so you have to change the inequality sign as well. Alrighty, good luck solving inequalities. This is M Squared signing out.